Let's go. Councillors, can I have your attention, please? Unfortunately, our Mayor, Councillor Radford, is unwell and cannot be in attendance this evening. As Deputy Mayor, I'll be the chair for tonight's meeting. I welcome you all to this important special meeting to consider the budget for the coming financial year and now declare the meeting open. This meeting will be conducted in accordance with the Council's governance rules. We will commence the meeting with the following reflection. I would ask those gathered to join us now for a few moments of silence as we reflect on our roles in this chamber. Please use this opportunity for reflection, prayer, or thought to focus on our shared intention to work respectfully together for the well-being of our whole community. Thank you. Cardinia Shire Council respectfully acknowledges that we are on the traditional lands of the Bunurong and Wurundjeri people and pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. As previously mentioned, we have received an apology from the Mayor, who is unwell, and I note that also Councillor Owen is on a leave of absence. Councillors, are there any declarations of interest that need to be heard? I see none, thank you. The sole item on tonight's agenda is to consider the budget for the forthcoming financial year. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. With excitement and anticipation, I move that Council, having completed the community engagement process in respect of the budget 2023 to 24, consistent with Council's engagement policy. Sorry,
Councillor Davies. Can you just introduce the budget?
Absolutely.
We'll get a seconder.
Sure. I would like to move the officer's recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. Do I have a seconder to that? I see Councillor Springfield. Thank you, Councillor Springfield. I'll go back to the mover, Councillor Davies. Thank you, Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Mayor. So listed in the report, and I will read through the recommendations, is that Council, having completed the community engagement process in respect of the budget consistent with Council's engagement policy, including the review and consideration of community feedback and submissions at Councillor Budget Workshop on Monday, 5 June 2023, resolves as follows. That 1, the budget annexed to the resolution is adopted for the purposes of sections 91, 93 and 94 of the Local Government Act 2020 and section 161 of the Local Government Act 1989. That 2, the declaration and levy of rates and charges for the 2023-24 financial year contained within the budget annexed to this resolution be adopted for the purposes of section 94 of the Local Government Act 2020 and sections 157 to 158 and 161 to 163 of the Local Government Act 1989. And 3, that the budget fees and charges schedule be amended to include a cost for the annual parking passes for Emerald Lake Park as follows. Free for Cardinia Shire residents and $40 for non-Cardinia Shire residents. In speaking to this motion, to any interested observers of the meeting tonight, I'll direct you to the proposed 2023 to 24 budget attachments to the Council report. This is accessible via Council's website. I'm very pleased to speak to the budget for 2023 to 24. It's the third budget of the Council's 4-year term, and it aligns to Cardinia's Council Plan 2021 to 25 and to the community vision to deliver on our community's needs. The budget has been delivered with a keen awareness and appreciation of the current cost of living pressures being experienced by our community. Council is committed to working within the rate cap and did not apply to increase it, noting increasing costs are borne by Council to deliver its services. To enable Cardinia Shire to continue to provide the community with quality services and infrastructure, we need to make some critical financial management decisions now that will safeguard our financial sustainability in the years to come. This involves managing the financial challenges facing our delivery of our community services and programs and prioritising many competing capital infrastructure projects. This budget will focus on operating efficiently and effectively in a financially responsible way. Council plans to commit $284.87 million in capital infrastructure over the next 4 years and $113.79 million capital program in the 2023 to 24 financial year. And of this total capital works program, 69.2 million is dedicated for the renewal and upgrade of our $2.3 billion worth of community assets. Of noting, there are new loan borrowings of $30.0 million proposed to assist in funding this significant capital investment. Key initiatives and projects included in the budget include continued delivery of the federally funded Sealing the Dandenong Ranges and Surrounds Road Construction Program and the Princess Highway intersection upgrades. These are delivered in a cost share with federal funding and Council's rate fund. Long-term strategic management of our water-sensitive urban design assets in accordance with Council's strategic vision to cater to the community's desired levels of service. Coordinate health and wellbeing initiatives across the Shire in line with priorities set in Cardinia Shire's Livability Plan 2017 to 29. Implementing the road development program to seal our strategic collector roads. Implement the aspirational energy transition plan, including energy saving retrofits and solar power in council buildings. Implementing the BioLinks plan for future investment in conservation management work to protect threatened species of flora and fauna in a changing climate. And assisting businesses and investors to create jobs right here by activating employment land, advocating for an airport in the southeast region, and assisting existing businesses to grow. In reviewing this budget, I am confident that our council demonstrates its commitment to serving the community's best interests and recognises that focused effort is necessary for us to remain financially sustainable in the long term. Preparation of a long-term financial sustainability strategy and a plan will begin soon, together with a business transformation initiative to improve how the council interacts and services the community more effectively and efficiently. A healthy long-term financial position will ensure council can consistently deliver services and infrastructure to current and future residents, address the significant issues as they arise, and meet the community's emerging needs. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. I'll now go to your seconder, Councillor Springfield.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Davies, for withdrawing this item. And most importantly, I'd like to thank all the councillors and all the council staff for all the work and effort that's gone into preparation for this budget for the year 2023-2024. I believe the preparation towards this budget is probably one that, most in depth that I've seen the last 7 years of council and focus, and we've learnt over time. I believe I was probably here last year, about a year ago, saying this was about the most in-depth process we've put into, but this year we learned from that, and straight from the get-go of the current financial year, we were working on this and working on delivering what the next budget was going to look like, because we were understanding some of the constraints that were in our economic climate in front of us. And this is why it has been difficult. It has been a difficult economic climate across the world, uncertainty, and we talk about this in the news every day. So I know every family and household out there understands that, but this was also reflected in council's deliberations. So I believe we've done a lot of great work here to try and deliver the most effective, sustainable budget that we can as a council. But I also just want to recognise that there is so many more community needs and desires out there that do put requests forward to all of us councillors in all of our areas, and unfortunately it doesn't mean that everything can't get done all at once. It's the sustainability of the needs and desires of our community, which is the growing community out there. But I believe this budget has delivered on the priorities that we've understood within our municipality as best we can, and try and meet the needs in our current climate within our community. So there's a lot of great projects that we're continuing with that are underway, that are listed within there, and I won't go over each individual item there, but it is just noting that there will be, some people may have put in there. We had a great engagement process too, I must say. We had a lot of good community feedback towards things, and that's what we want to see, because this is the budget for everyone in our community. We want that buy-in, and that we want that communication coming from our stakeholders, from our ratepayers and our community members, to come in this process with us. So look, I hope this is well received by the community out there. And just to thank everyone for the effort to put this together, because it is very hard, harder than it's ever been. understanding this inflationary crisis that we've seen upon us as we've watched all these interest rate rises go across the last, this time last year, we're nowhere near where we're sitting at right now when it came to the concern of what the economic future might look like. But look, just one really positive note that I personally am very happy about, as mentioned in the withdrawal item, was point number 3, that from now on, parking will be free for Cardinia Shire residents at Emerald Lake Park, and this is something that has been requested as in the past from residents and brought up, and I'm really glad to see that we could deliver this time because it makes sense. It's a well-utilised area in my backyard, and I'm really happy to see that it's now a free annual pass for those who wish to apply for it. So, but look, I'll leave it there. Deputy Mayor, thank you very much for time tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Springfield. Are there any other speakers? I'll go to Councillor Ross.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Just painting a picture here for those who don't realise, and most people do, Cardinia Shire is one of the fastest growing municipalities, not only in Victoria but in Australia, with our population expected to have an increase of 40.75% from the 2023 population forecast of 29,000. It's estimated by 2041 it'll go up to 182,000 people. Our dwellings are going to go up from now 46.75% in that time, from 45,000 to 66,000. This reflects the unique qualities of the municipality and confidence in its future. I believe in 2 words, we can name this budget as being responsible and sustainable in a really extremely challenging time when the cost of services, the cost of buildings, cost of resources, cost to borrow money, capacity of residents to pay and hardship, this strikes a really good balance. And this is where rate capping on this particular year comes in handy for people, because they have an idea on what their rates might go up when everything else around them is going up at rates that they just couldn't comprehend, particularly a year ago. This is one thing that they can assure themselves, that the council rate increase will only go up the cap. I must say, this is my second sort of major crisis that we've had on council. When I first got on council, we had the GFC come, and at the time, our council rates went up 7%. I was asking for a 4% increase, which would have been the inflationary rate at the time, but council told me, oh no, we have to continue on. I think this is an area that has improved a lot. It makes us really, really review the spending model that we have. And I must say the budget process, as Councillor Springfield brought out, which is so much more in detail and so more inclusive, that councillors get the total idea on where the money goes, what we spend it on, if we have to cut back, where we cut back, and what we need to invest more money into. And I think this really does strike a balance. It is very responsible, sustainable, and it's one of the cost of living factors that our residents can assure themselves they know what that'll go up, because it can't go up any more than a certain amount. Anyway, I think it's responsible. I'm going to vote for it. I hope my fellow councillors support it too, because I think there's been a whole lot of work done, and it really puts a challenge to us to make sure that we can cover all the services we need, the building that we need in a responsible way. And yet at the same time, if we have to put things out a little bit further, those things will still get done. They just have to be done in a timely measure in the rate that we can afford and residents can afford to pay for them. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. I'll go to Councillor Cameron.
Thank you, through you. Council officers, the senior leadership team and their managers have all worked within the framework provided by the adopted financial plan 2021 to 31. This budget outlines resources and how they'll be allocated to deliver the initiatives, programs and services, along with the capital works to the community as framed by the council plan for the 2023-27 period. It also outlines the associated arrangements for financing and servicing financial debt. The budget has been influenced by the consultation process and is based on sound financial principles, prudent debt management, responsible asset management and ratepayer equity value and affordability principles. The team have complied with the Local Government Act provisions. That's the Local Government 1989, sections 157 to 58 and 161 to 63, the Local Government Act 2020, sections 91, 93 and 94, and have considered the community engagement submissions received. Council is able to formally resolve on the budget 2023-24 and declaration and levy of rates and charges for the 2023-24 financial year contained therein. As a result of this, it pleases me no end to be able to say that the Coralline Football Club change rooms will come to fruition for the club within this budget. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Cameron. We'll now go to Councillor Moore.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Most of the councillors have spoken very well tonight, Deputy Mayor. I just want to reinforce most of the comments that have been made tonight. Thank you, Councillor Davies, for withdrawing this item, and Councillor Springfield for seconding it, and well spoken. I'd just like to just remind maybe the residents, the community, of what length we go to get the balance right in this particular budget. It starts in December. I've never seen a budget revised so many times in all the time I've been here. It's been back and forward with all the adjustments that have to go through, particularly with the building costs, the way the building costs have changed and gone through the roof. And of course, it does affect the bottom line of what we do as a council here, to what we can deliver. So it's unfortunate we have to go back and back and back, and it's a lot of work to do that. And I want to thank the staff, the managers and staff. The staff are at the back row over here, which is fantastic to see them here, to be here to see this being delivered tonight. And I'm certainly going to support what we've achieved here tonight. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Moore. I'm now going to go to Councillor Carol Ryan.
Thank you, through you, Deputy Mayor. Thank you to all councillors and staff. This has been the most difficult budget I've worked on since 2019, coming in 2016, sorry. We're not going to cover everything for our community, and we're not going to sugarcoat it either. We're an honest council that calls it as it is. And it has been difficult because of funding and limited funds going through. But based on key principles, including achieving long-term financial sustainability while delivering on council's strategic objectives as specified in the council plan, maintain key services at existing levels, effectively manage the asset renewal gap, continue to manage serviceable debt, maintain cash reserves above minimum statutory levels. This proposed budget 2023-2024 will enable council to continue to meet the challenges associated with this rapidly expanding population. Working with the livable plan of 21-25 to continue driving services to succeed and to attract health and social services, including mental health. There are some downsides, but there's always downsides to budget. Yes, the rates will be affected, but that's quite normal considering what society has been going through. Affordable housing is one of the biggest issues within our community as well, and homelessness. But we're working on those in the near future, and you know, again, we have to advocate for a lot of those services. And services for disabilities as well. We're not seeing enough of that, but again, the teams are working on it really well, and I value what the teams are doing. And also, I'd like to see more funding towards our outdoor swimming pools, because in the future we may have future Olympians, and we have to utilise some of our pools, not only the heated but the outside pools. I was a bit disappointed in some of the comments from the community. We didn't have a lot of response, and I would have liked to have seen more response. But there was one about the artwork at the pool in Pakenham. It's absolutely one of those things. The community wanted that to cover the machinery. We did that with a limited budget, but now that the garden will start growing, it will change that environment. I'm happy to see too design of the Pakenham Town Centre streetscape upgrades at 1.4 million in this budget, and whatever else we have there that will contribute to that. It's a long-term process, so it won't be done overnight. Cardinia Youth Facility, 2.5 million. It's nearly ready towards the end of this year. I'm really happy to see that. I think that'll be a great environment for our youth. The Pakenham Tennis Club relocation, club room renovations, 1 million. Pakenham Main Street, the revival, I've already gone over that. The cost of living, increased rates, affordable housing, protected land and plantation for years to come, farmers based on our growth of our food base, and livestock and wildlife. They're the things that we continually do as a council. But we do cover an awful lot, even though we have to be look at it as a whole community now, that there is something for everybody. It may not be everything you want, but if you get one thing in that year, then that's a process, and I think that's really great. So, you know, parks and gardens, libraries, maternal and child health, youth services, you know, there's some of the things that have been covered. And I think, you know, I just am happy that it's about equality, and there is equality in some of the budget there. It's not equality for everyone, but, you know, we're never going to make everyone happy on our budget. So I will be supporting this budget. I think it's considering the difficulty we've had to go through and cut back and reassess, cut back, reassess. I'm happy in support of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ryan, and thank you to all councillors who've contributed to this conversation tonight and discussion around the budget. Before I go back to the mover, Councillor Davies, I just want to briefly add a couple of things myself. I'm really proud of this budget and the work that it empowers our organisation to do, and I think that's really important, and I'm really glad that I've heard those sentiments from my fellow councillors tonight as well. It's a good feeling, and it's something I hope we've all experienced sitting at this table when you see little projects, little things you've asked for, little changes you've advocated for implemented. And then the differences that can make in people's lives. So it's a really cool process to be a part of that. I think now for myself I think this is the third budget of this council term, I'm really starting to see some of those things that I've worked hard for come to fruition, and I won't lie, it is pleasing. I heard a few councillors tonight say there's something for everyone in this budget. It's true, it is a bit of a people's budget, isn't it? Because I think generally we're drawn towards capital expenditure, but when you look at from an operational perspective as well, the support we have for our disability community, our multicultural community, some of the work our financial advisory action groups are doing, it's really, really powerful stuff. And you can see that our organisation really does prioritise the well-being of our whole community and aren't just solely driven by infrastructure. So I'm really proud of it. I will be supporting it, obviously, and I'll go to Councillor Davies now, the mover. Thank you for moving it, and I'll ask you to sum up.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, for sharing your sentiments. Likewise, your work in financial management and view to serve the whole community is appreciated as a colleague on council. I'd like to acknowledge Councillor Ross's reflection on the significant growth pressures facing the municipality and the compounding pressures of growth alongside the financial and economic challenges facing society today complicates things. And I'm really proud that we've been able to create a budget within the standard 3.5% rate cap specified, because we've reviewed our spending, we've cut back what we could, and we're working towards a financially responsible business that's transparent and accountable, which is just what the community does deserve. I'd like to echo Councillor Ryan's comments on the frustration in not being able to say yes to everything, because there's a lot to do. And I do acknowledge Councillor Ryan's comments on the aquatic facilities and the Pakenham streetscape upgrades. Your advocacy here as a ward councillor is clear. Thank you, Councillor Cameron, for your reflection on the delivery of services, the management processes and the legislative responsibilities. These are significant, and I will also briefly speak about Coraline because your efforts on keeping a challenging project on the agenda is a credit to you. Likewise, I echo Councillor Springfield's sentiments on the efforts and focus by many staff and contractors in preparation and diligence of the budget, and would also like to thank Councillor Moore on his comments of support in general regarding the budget. Councillor Moore has made continued efforts for genuine community representation throughout the budget process, and it is truly a credit to himself and the ward he represents. And I do want to echo, finally, the gratitude towards the great people that serve the council. The budget is not drafted in June and it's not done by the 9 of us. It's an iterative, responsive co-design process, and it's been hard work to develop a budget that provides value and affordability in meeting service priorities and expectations, whilst delivering on infrastructure that we know we need. There are some councillor resolved amendments resulting from the budget engagement process. There's been Coraline Reserve, where the project has been brought forward from years 3 and 4 to years 2 and 3, which brings it to 2024 to 26 construction timeframe, which would mean with a modular construction product, council with an additional $400,000 allocated, we'll be able to manage the cost of the project and actually deliver the much needed construction project. So congratulations to Councillor Cameron for getting that done. It's been on the council's list for a very long time. Likewise, the McGregor Road duplication project has been moved from year 2 of our budget to years 3 and 4, and that's due to the finding security and co-funding. Good news stories are funding for a Choose Tap fountain at the Garfield Recreation Reserve, prioritised between current budget allocations. Congratulations, Councillor Moore. For those that don't know, Choose Taps are actually the water fountains designed for both dogs and their humans. So they have the bubbler, the tap and the dog bowl. And another win for Councillor Moore is where the council officers organising for members of the Park Services team and the citywide, our general maintenance grass contractor, to inspect the Bunyip Oval and provide maintenance recommendations to the committee, including providing a recommended annual maintenance schedule. So through the consultation, we've been able to get four good results. I also want to acknowledge that in the specific feedback to the draft budget, Council received and considered a total of 103 responses via the Creating Cardinia platform and 6 email submissions. And I would like to thank each stakeholder for their time and efforts providing that feedback. In conclusion, this budget has been designed to reflect Council's commitment to make Cardinia Shire the best place possible to live, to work or to raise a family. And for the final wording, in having complied with the Local Government Act provisions, LGA 1989 sections 157 to 158 and 161 to 163, the Local Government Act 2020 sections 91, 93 and 94, and having considered the community engagement submissions received, Council is able to formally resolve on the budget and declaration of levy and rates and charges for the 23 to 24 financial year contained. Hence, I confirm that Council resolves to approve the budget as itemised in the written report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. I'll now put item 4.1.1, adoption of budget 23-24 to a vote. All those in favour? I declare that carried unanimously. That concludes tonight's meeting. Thank you to the residents in the gallery for your attendance. I want to wish our Mayor a speedy recovery and now declare the meeting closed. Thank you, everyone.